Hey guys, how you doing? This is Lee, the engineer, with another episode of the Steam Squad Show. Today we're going to be learning about how to use an Arduino using TinkerCAD. Now, this is a special lesson because this is for the people that do not have their own personal Arduino. You can still follow along, and we're going to show you how you can do that in today's lesson. So if you are enjoying the lessons, you're learning from them, please like our videos, please subscribe. We could use the interaction. We really appreciate that. But let's go and get started. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is go to TinkerCAD.com. TinkerCAD.com is a great program. It's free, totally free and everything. All you have to do is sign up and log in. Once you log in, you will see a screen kind of like this. Now, I could talk about TinkerCAD all day because I love it. I use it for so many things, including 3D printing and robot design and all those other kind of things. But specifically today, we're going to be using their circuit simulator program. Okay, but if you look at their window here, you'll look on the left hand side and you'll see 3D design. That's more for like 3D printing and stuff like that. And then you'll see circuits. All right, so we're going to click on the circuits block, and then you'll see this green button here that says create new circuit. So we're going to click that. All right, so just give it a second. Just give it a couple more seconds. My computer's slow. All right, anyway, so we are now in the workspace for creating a circuit. Now, let me tell you how much I love this. This is so cool because on your right-hand side, you'll see all these cool little circuits and things like that that you can bring into your world. And then do I see an Arduino, right? So you can actually program an Arduino, but you can program not only an Arduino, you can program a microbit or any of these other things that are in here. So it's so cool. I love it. All right, so I do want to kind of show you some of the basics of it. So in our last lesson, you'll notice that maybe some of these things look familiar because I used it as our representatives of a resistor. So I'll click on the resistor and I'll drag it in. So let me do that again because I did that kind of fast. So I clicked and hold, and then I drag it into the scene, and I have a resistor, right? Now, if you have a mouse with a wheel on it, you can zoom in on the object. So I'm gonna zoom in. Look at that. Ooh, and I can zoom out. All right. And then you can manipulate the object. So if I want to turn it around, so you have to click on it so that it's highlighted. You'll see that it has a little blue highlight on it, and I can press this thing, or I guess press R. But you can press this button here, and it'll rotate it. I believe that's every 45 degrees it kind of rotates or whatever. And I guess you can press R and do the same thing, which is kind of cool. I'm pressing R right now to do it. All right. Wow, that's fun. All right. The other thing that you can do is you can bring other things in there like buttons and potentiometers and LED lights. So I'm bringing this LED light in here. And you'll notice, remember from our last lesson, that the shorter leg of the LED is called the what? What is it called? It's called the cathode. Yep, see? And then the longer one is called the what? Oh, you probably already saw it, but do you remember? Anode, right? And do you remember what LED stands for? It stands for light emitting diode. Okay, I heard y'all. I heard a couple of y'all saying it. Okay, so anyway, we're all caught up now. So you can bring objects in there. I'm gonna delete this, right? And of course, the whole reason why we're talking about this is that you can bring an Arduino into the world. Apparently I can't, but you can. Let me click on it again. Oh, there it is. It just took a little minute. So I'm going to zoom out. Remember, that was the wheel. That was the mouse wheel that you can use to zoom in and zoom out. All right, so you have your Arduino, and you can give it a name. I mean, I'm gonna just call it Leary. See, we making mistakes now. What do we do? Right, we breathe, and then see, everything just works, right? Lee's Uno. All right, but you can call it whatever you want. It just gives it a name and things like that. But you can run this just like your Arduino if you have one, or just like a regular Arduino. So if I wanted to connect my LED light, which is what we did last time, we're going to do it again. We're going to bring our LED light in, and I'm going to do this for a reason because I want to show you some stuff. All right, we brought our LED light in, and I'm gonna zoom in just because it was a little bigger, and just because we can. The LED does not have to be red. You don't have to limit yourself. Remember when I did it, mine was blue, so I'm gonna use blue, right? So now I have a blue light, right? So we're gonna do that. And you'll notice that when you move your mouse over an area that has this red square on it, that means that you can connect it, right? So I can press the square and then drag my mouse down to another square and connect it. Now that green piece right there is representative of a wire, right? So if I was, I mean, I have wire here, right? See, so, and you can see that wires can be all colors of the rainbow. See, so of course wires can be different colors. So if I, so even then I can click the wire and change colors. See, make it red, or I could be red, I could be blue, I could be violet, or whatever. How's that song go? I forgot. Anyway, so I can make it whatever I want. Anyway, so let's talk about some other things that we can do with this wire, because I think it's kind of cool to talk about the wire. So I'm going to pull back a little bit just so we can see a little bit more. So say my LED is over here for some reason, right? It's not directly in. Can I connect the wire to the Arduino from here? Of course I can. So I can click here, and instead of going directly this way, I'm going to go down. Why am I going down? Because if I go down and I click and then I change direction, look at that. I can change the direction, right? So I can go up, I can go around, I can go around town. Look at that. So if I click, every time I click it, I can change the direction of the wire, right? And then eventually, I believe that is the anode. So that needs to go to positive or negative. You remember? Positive, right? So I'm going to have it go to the positive, which is pin 13, right? And then I'm gonna change that color to red just because it just helps me to remember that that is a positive color. All right. And then I'm gonna do my cathode. The cathode is, remember, it's negative. That's right. So you knew that. And we won't do anything with that. We'll just have it just go over here. And we'll change the direction here, and it'll go into ground, right? I was going to make sure you knew that, but of course you know that. And then we'll change this color to black. Now black is never negative, okay? Black is beautiful, okay? So I'm just let y'all know that. But for this particular purpose, we're going to say that black is ground. We're not even going to say black is negative. We're going to say black is grounded. All right? All right now. All right. So anyway, we're going to go here and we're going to do this, right? So the black is ground, and then we have our positive over here. So anyway, let's see. All right. Now, if you saw the last video, you remember that all I had to do was press start simulation, and this should turn on and blink, right? And then we also see that little exclamation point because, remember, LEDs can only have a certain amount of amperage, and because pin 13 has an internal resistor in it, it is okay. But if we were to connect it to another pin, which we will do, we're going to see what's going to happen. But so here's the cool thing. Now, we did the actual hardware part. What about the coding? Can you do that? Of course you can. All right, so if you see on your little list here, you have all these little things that you can use. If you go up here, you'll see code. Let's see what code does. Is this the code? It doesn't look like the code that we worked on, right? This is a way of doing the code. You can do it using blocks. Now, this is totally a reliable way of doing coding, so there's nothing wrong with that. But because we are using the Arduino and we're using the text stuff, we are going to use text. So you'll see that little tab here that says blocks. We're going to click that, and we're going to click text. And at this point, it's going to say something like, are you sure you want to do that or whatever? Because blocks are cool, and blocks are totally cool, but we're going to do it the other way anyway. So we're going to click continue. All right, click continue. Does this look familiar? If you did one of our first lessons, you'll probably see that this looks super familiar, including the LED built in and the delays and all that. Oh my goodness, this is our code. So we can actually do code in the computer. So if you do not have an Arduino, you can still follow along. You have no excuse now. So I expect for you to be doing all this too. All right, so so if you want to run the code, you can just type your code in here, just like you did in your Arduino, and then you start your simulation, and you can see everything run. Right? We'll probably need to hide it, right? How do we hide it? Stop code. All right, let's click this. I'm having some trouble now. How do we hide this thing? Come on now, code. Oh, there you go. So if I want to see the code, you click the code button, which is up there, and then if I want to hide it, just click it again, and it goes away. So start simulation is you remember that upload part. Remember that. So we click that, and then if you want to stop it, you just stop simulation. Now I don't see the compile. Is there a compile on here? There's download code. So you can download code too. So you could do the work here and download it for later. So I mean, it's so cool, right? Libraries, so you have libraries in here. There's so many things you can do, and you can even change the Arduinos and stuff like that. There's so many things you can do with this. All right, so let's go and do one more thing before we close out. I just wanted to show this to you because, especially if you don't have an Arduino, or if you have an Arduino and you want to try something out before you actually do it in your Arduino, this is probably a better way of doing it because you won't break anything. All right, so let's go back to this. All right, so now we are going to take this wire here and we're going to delete it. Now we're going to connect this wire to pin, let's see, what number? Give me a number, everybody. Let me hear you. Oh, I heard 7, so we're going to go to 7. All right, so we're going to go to 7. All right. Now, of course, this is not going to work because if we go to our code here, this is for LED built-in. Now, if I were to the other thing that I can do is if LED built-in also means 13. So if I were to change all these to 13, give me a second. I'm gonna do that right now. Oop. I hit the push that down to that. That's not right. All right, so we're gonna do that. And then we go out of the code, and we're going to delete this again. I just wanted to show you something before we go too far. Click here, and we're going to just go to 13 right here. We're not going to change the color. All right. And we're going to run the simulation. It still blinks, right? Because LED built-in equals pin 13. That is something called a variable, and we'll talk about variables in another lesson. But LED built-in is another way of saying pin 13. So we're going to stop the simulation and stop the code. If I were to connect this wire to pin 7, right? Because that's the one you said. I heard you. All right. And we start the simulation. What's going to happen? Nothing, right? No blinks, no nothing. It's not going to do anything. Why? Because we've already told the Arduino, hey, we're using pin 13, and then turn pin 13 on for 1 second, turn off for 1 second. They're like, I don't know anything about the pin 7, so we're going to change the program now. So we're going to change the program to, we have to stop simulation. You can't change the code while you're running the simulation. Go here and change that to, what do you think I need to change it to? I heard you. 7. All right. But we got to change all of them to 7. So we're going to change this one to 7. This one that says 13, we're going to change that to 7. And we're going to change that to 7. All right. So it should work, right? So let's close. So we trust to close the code. And we're going to run the simulation. Yay, this should work, right? All right, here we go. So we can still got that warning, right? All right. So it does work, but we just have to keep in mind that we should be using a resistor for this. So just keep that in mind. But it does work, right? So if I wanted to change this to, let's change it to another number. What number are you thinking now, y'all? Let's see. 3? I heard you. Let's change it to 3. 3. All right. Start simulation. It's not going. Oh, it's not working. Why is it not working? Somebody tell me. Tell me what's happening. What did I do wrong? Oh, I heard you. I heard you. So I need to change these numbers to what? 3. All right. So we're changing to 3. All right. 3. Now, I do want to show you, just in case you make a mistake, right? So remember when we made a mistake in the Arduino, stuff started turning orange and letting us know that things weren't right. So let's make a change. Let's intentionally make a mistake. Change it a little state. I'm gonna just make that a small W. Let's start the simulation. Oop. All right, there was a problem. And just like in the Arduino, it tells you, hey, you might want to look at your area. And the cool thing is that it also highlights in the code where there might be a problem. So digital write is discrete. It says digital write was not declared in the scope. Basically saying, I don't know what that is because it doesn't know what digital write with the small w. It knows what big digital write with the big W is. So we're going to try that, change that, and start simulation. And it works. So this is an example of how to use the Arduino in TinkerCAD. Now, this is a great way to, again, if you want to test your code before you actually do it in your real Arduino, this is a great way to do that without damaging your equipment and things like that. So a lot of the things that we do now will be using the TinkerCAD to visualize and show you what to do, and then you can do it in your real Arduino. So that's our lesson today. It's really short, but I hope you guys learned something. And now all those people that say, I don't have an Arduino, well, now you do. So I hope you guys will follow along with us. And for everybody that's on there, keep steaming. Just a quick shout out to Rockstar Robotics Team 6473. You guys are doing great. So just keep up the good work. And the rest of y'all are doing great too. So y'all everybody just keep up the good work. All right. So we're going to go now. You guys have a great day. Keep steaming. Have a great day.